Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, once more. It's my pleasure to invite all of you to this occasion. This has been our first AKEFEMA Feed Conference and exhibition. We really appreciate your presence, and especially our international guests. It was a bit worrying for us as a planning committee when as you know, what's been happening in the country with the Gen Z business. So we were worried that some of them might decide not to come. But we are lucky that, and we are happy and thank God that we have gotten 100% attendance from all the people that were invited. So we don't take that for granted. So I'm going to read a small speech. So we plan to hold this event every 2 years, and the next one is scheduled for July 2026. And that is really mainly due to your support. We have seen the attendance that have been made by you guys, and this has been the first one, so we believe that even the next one will be far much bigger. Delegates, we have got delegates from 171 companies from 19 countries across Africa, the Middle East, the USA, Europe, and Asia. Our theme for this conference is resilience and innovation in a never-changing feed industry landscape for enhanced food security in East Africa. That's our theme. Basically, what we want you to take home, if you don't take home anything else, the one thing that we would wish you to take home is that everybody's gathered in this conference. We're in the business of animal protein production. That's our business. That's how you contribute to this economy. And what do we mean by that? We produce the animal proteins, as it was well elaborated by Dr. Mutua in the first presentation. We are involved in the business of producing milk, eggs, and meat. Of course, through our esteemed farmers. So that's our business. And what we wish is that, especially for the feed millers who are here today, we want you to learn, go through all the stands, the exhibition stands, booths, and the presentation that will be done here in the plenary and in the breakaway rooms. We'd want the feed millers who are here today to change how they manufacture their feeds, because there'll be a lot to learn. As Susan has just mentioned, we have experts, presenters from all over the world, the best of the best. We also have academia from Kenya. You also understand we have some professors that have come all the way from Canada, and we really appreciate them. We learn a lot from them. Indeed, East Africa is acknowledged as a cradle of early modern humans. The East African community is an economic and political bloc currently consisting of the Democratic Republic of Congo, Kenya, Tanzania, Uganda, Rwanda, Burundi, South Sudan, and Somalia. Ethiopia is poised to join soon. The East African population was over 400 million by July 2024. That's according to the UN estimates. And it's projected to double by 2050. East Africa is actually experiencing a demographic boom, with 7% of the population being below 35 years. The region has a very young population. And what does that mean? It means that the demand for the animal source foods will be very high. So that's a great opportunity for us as feed millers, as feed practitioners, to ensure that we meet that demand. Our work as feed industry leaders is central to achieving food security, given that we are in the business of producing animal proteins, as I mentioned earlier. The demand for these foods is very high and is ever rising, fueled by high economic growth and a rising middle class. The region's real GDP is projected to grow at a rate of 5.7% in 2025. That's from the current 4.9%. East Africa is the continent's fastest growing region. Of all the regions in Africa, East Africa's economy is the fastest growing. So that's another great opportunity for us. In the face of unprecedented challenges, that is climate change, economic fluctuations, forex shocks, and the disruption of global supply chains occasioned by the Ukraine-Russia war, and recently the Red Sea disruptions, our industry stands at a crucial juncture. Indeed, we just came out of one of the worst droughts in 40 years in Kenya, whereby we lost about 2.61 million livestock due to drought, leading to severe socioeconomic crisis in the affected areas. The resilience and innovative spirit that we bring to our work will determine our success in overcoming these obstacles and seize the opportunities they present. Livestock farmers have been encouraged to adopt feedlot systems to avert such a crisis happening again in the future. Indeed, one of the breakaway sessions will be addressing feedlots and the ideal nutrition concepts. So we want to understand, especially as feed millers, how can we plug in these feeds that we can produce that can be used to feed our cattle, especially during the dry seasons, so that our animals will survive and thrive. So we are looking forward to that session on feedlots. Our hope is that the region will consider the importation and use of GM animal feeds, raw materials, that will significantly assure availability and lower the costs of feeds. This is evident from countries that have already adopted this technology. And actually, yesterday we were talking about the same issue with our friends from South Africa. They adopted GM products long time ago. So there's no need of fearing GM. You know, people say, oh, once you eat GM products, GM foods, people develop horns, people develop tails. We have good guys here from South Africa. I've not seen a tail or a horn from any of them. So there's nothing to fear about GM. So resilience is more than just enduring hardships. It's about anticipating change, adapting to new realities, and emerging stronger. It involves developing robust supply chains, improving our production practices, adopting emerging evidence-based technologies, and ensuring that our businesses can thrive even in the most challenging conditions. We hope that you will emerge from this conference well-equipped and resilient, ready to face any challenges in your respective organizations. These 2 days are going to be a masterclass lesson on the best ways of producing animal feeds. So please note that. Let's go to innovation. Innovation, on the other hand, is an engine that drives progress. Without innovation, no progress at all. It is through innovation that we develop new feed formulations, enhance our production techniques, and adopt sustainable practices. By embracing innovation, we can improve the nutritional quality of our feeds, reduce our environmental footprint, and ultimately contribute to enhanced food security in our regions. What opportunities do we have? So over the next 2 days, the delegates will benefit immensely from the state-of-the-art presentations by our experts, both at the plenary and breakaway sessions. So on day one, that is today, the conference will start by highlighting the status of the feed industry in East Africa, as already done by Dr. Mutua, the opportunities for growth that abound. The policies and legal framework around the feed industry will be highlighted too. The feed regulator, that is KEBS, Kenya Bureau of Standards, will inform the delegates about the quality management systems that feed manufacturers must adhere to while manufacturing animal feeds in Kenya. The plenary session will end with a presentation on feed design, the do's and don'ts. When we talk about the feed design, basically we're talking about feed formulation. What are those things that we must do when formulating feeds? And what are those things that we must not do? And that will actually be in context of the East African region. You know, there are very different ways of formulating feeds. There are people formulate feeds in, say, in US, in Europe, in Asia. It's very different from how we formulate our feeds in the East Africa region, because the available raw materials are very different. So our expert is going to tell us, based with the raw materials available in East Africa, what are the best ways of us formulating those feeds so that those feeds become the best quality and the most competitive price. In other words, the most affordable, or at the least cost, the most least cost. Yes, on one side, best quality, but the other side, at the lowest cost possible. And I believe that will benefit, especially the feed millers. So on day 2, delegates will learn about cutting-edge feed manufacturing technologies, including technology adoption and digitalization of feed manufacturing. And I think I want to just mention one point concerning that area. We've realized that for us to be efficient as feed manufacturers, we've got no option other than to adopt the latest or the best feed manufacturing technologies, because they bring efficiency because of economies of scale. You're able to produce feeds that ordinarily you not produce. You're able to produce feeds like pellets for broilers, for ruminants, like the calf pellets, the dairy tubes. But if we insist on continually producing feeds using the traditional methods of just having a grinder and a mixer, I can tell you, you'll have a very rough time in the years to come, because that is basically a very inefficient way of producing the feeds. Yeah, so we must start changing and adopting the new technologies. We'll also learn about alternative feed raw materials. And in particular, we'll be educated, or we'll learn about a product called DDGS, which is a very good alternative as a raw material for both ruminants and non-ruminants. We mean for cattle, for layers, for broilers, for swine, and all that. And currently, we are not using it in Kenya. Actually, in East Africa, we are not using it. But we do wish, and I'm glad our PS is here. I know there's some few issues that surround that DDGS, but I believe with the partnership that we have with the government, we're able to overcome that obstacle and start bringing this material for use. That is going to really improve the quality of our feeds and reduce the cost of production. We'll also learn about mycotoxin management. We all know about aflatoxin in milk. So we learn how best can we reduce or eliminate that element of aflatoxin in our feeds. We'll also learn about biotech in animal feed production. That's about the GM, as I had mentioned earlier. And also the global biotech commodities that are available for animal feeds. Out there in the world, we've got so many raw materials that are actually used for making animal feeds, quality animal feeds. But unfortunately, in our region, we don't have access to those raw materials. Why? Simply because they are GM. And yet we know that in Europe, European Union, they are using them. USA, or rather America, both North America and South America, they are using them. China, they are using them. South Africa, our neighbor down south, are using them. So we learn about them. Which are those products? And again, once more, with our PS, we believe once we continue this discussion, we'll be able to maybe be able to bring them around. So what about the breakout sessions? There'll be breakout sessions every day, today and tomorrow, focusing on poultry production and nutrition, formulation using rumen-protected amino acids, dairy cow nutrition, swine breeding, feedlots, gut health, and feed safety. You know, we are saying that feed is equal to food. Yes? Because you produce animal feeds, you feed them to animals, then we end up eating the products that come from those animals. So if we put in feeds that are unsafe to the animals, we'll end up eating those unsafe foods rather. So we are very careful, and we want to learn about what should we do to ensure that we have feed and food safety. Now, that's all about the conferences. The other session will be about the exhibitions. As we realized, we have called this event AKEFEMA Conference and Exhibition, rather. So we have got two sessions. We have got the conference, which will be held here, and the breakaway rooms. And we'll also have the other bigger part on exhibitions. So at the exhibitions, we have 51 booths. Or rather, we have 51 exhibitors who will be exhibiting and showing world-class, In addition to the world-class presentations at the conference sessions, delegates are encouraged to visit the 51 booths at the Paradise Grounds. That is right from this facility on the right, after the parking. You'll see many tents that have been erected there. That's why we've got the 51 booths, where they will have the opportunity to interact face-to-face with the exhibitors and learn from them the latest innovations in feed manufacturing technology, feed science, animal nutrition, quality assurance, and feed safety. We are all encouraged to actively participate and ask questions and share your perspectives. As we embark on this journey together, let us remember that our ultimate goal is to enhance food security in East Africa region. A resilient and innovative animal feed industry is essential to achieving this goal. By working together, we can create a future where our industry not only survives, but thrives, contributing to the well-being and prosperity of our communities. Finally, they say that all work and no play makes Tom a dull boy. So we have lined up a series of social events where you'll have an opportunity to network and get to know each other better. This will include an opening cocktail and a closing dinner for presenters, exhibitors, and sponsors. Enjoy the refreshing ambience of the hotel as we participate in the conference. Thank you all for your commitment to this important cause, and thank you for being here today. I should thank the AFEC Planning Committee, seated right here in the first row, without whom this event would not have been possible. They have spent hours and hours of their time to ensure this conference succeeds. Once again, karibuni to the first AKEFEMA Feeds Exhibition and Conference, and we hope to see you again in 2026. Thank you very much. So it's my pleasure and honor to invite our chief guest, Honorable Jonathan Mweke, who is the Principal Secretary, State Department for Livestock Development in Kenya. Karibu sana, Mheshimiwa.